Hi everybody, welcome back to this week's School Psychologist vlog. So last week I gave you a video with that information behind us about planning and how to break things down and involving a lot of higher level executive functioning skills all at once. So this week and the next couple weeks I'm actually going to break down those skills a little bit more for you and give some strategies. Before I get started, I need to forewarn the students who are watching this. Your parents are going to nag you. They have my permission because in order for you to do these skills, in order for you guys to develop these new habits, develop these pathways in your brain, you need your parents cueing you. You need your parents' help and support in helping you through this. This is going to be something that you and your parents do together. It can't be done with you alone. It can't be done just by your parents. It involves a team effort, and it involves you two working together collaboratively. Big word, collaboratively, it means together. So students, parents, you have permission to nag. You cannot do, and students, it's going to feel like they're nagging all the time. But they have to in order for this to be done, and in order for you to develop these skills. So we're going to start off with talking about task initiation. How do we start a task? How do we do something without procrastinating? How do we do something without avoiding it? I am great at professional procrastination. I'll always find something else to do besides writing the reports, but I do get the reports done. And how do we do it in a timely fashion? So, as I said last week, there's two types of task initiation. First thing is starting on a task right away. Once it's assigned, starting it, once a parent gives it, you give the task. The second part involves planning when it's going to be done. So you can use this with chores, you can use this with homework, you can use this with jobs that you have around the house. All of those types of things can be used for task initiation. And I'm actually going to show parents a chart here, a homework planner, but you can use this for anything, which involves also like chores and other jobs that you need done at home. So there are some things that parents can do to help their child start a task. One, you tell them, you verbally cue them, hey, it's 5 o'clock, it's homework time. Hey, it's 7 o'clock, it's time for your shower and brush your teeth. You probably do that already quite a bit. Still do it that. The second piece is have some sort of visual cue. Some people have lists, some people have calendars, some people have sticky notes. Whatever it may be for your visual cue, it doesn't always have to be written in words like I have here, behind here, words. Sometimes pictures can be fun to do too. We've actually taken pictures of students actually doing things. When I go to talk about cleaning your room, taking a picture like you and your child working together as to what the clean room looks like, but taking a picture of what that looks like or what the next step is, especially if there's multiple steps and the students aren't sure what to do next or what it looks like, you can take a picture of each of those steps, and then whether you put it on a piece of paper, whether you put it on flip cards, however it may be, those can be visual cues too. You can walk your child through a portion of the task. This is something that I do with my son. Math is probably not one of my stronger suits, and that's okay. I still have to do it. I still use it. But he'll bring his math homework home, especially these math challenges. So what's interesting is he'll ask me, because I have just a different way of looking at math. He's a very visual person, so we'll sometimes use a visual piece to do that. And I'll start to walk him through it. And of course, I'm walking him through it incorrectly. At which point he says, oh, no, I get it. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's not that my way was wrong. It was just different, but something triggers in his mind of how it is supposed to be done. Noting how long it takes to do something. Noting those start and those stop times. Sometimes a task for a child can feel like it's going to take forever. I've often sat in meetings and timed 10 seconds, and people think I'm crazy because 10 seconds when you sit there quietly is a very long time. So knowing when the end time is going to be, planning out how long it's going to take is also important. And then having the child have a say, having your child have a say as to when they're going to start the task, how they want to be cued, how they want to work with you. So getting that insight. In earlier videos, I talked about, listening to your child, problem solving together. So this is something that you can definitely do together, over the weekend, when there isn't a time for homework, when you have 10, 15 minutes to sit down, how are we going to do this? How are we going to plan this out? You can also use things like timers, uh, timers on technology. I'd be careful with the little timers, the sand timers that you flip over. Those can be very good and very effective because they're quiet, but they also don't ding at the end. Some kids need to know when that happens, so they end up paying more attention to the timer than they do to the task. So setting up and using those verbal, auditory, visual cues will all be very helpful. This is what I wanted to show you before, and this is from that book I talked about before, which is this one, Executive Functioning in Children and Adolescents by Peg Dawson and Richard Guare. So this happens to be a daily homework planner. Make sure I kind of get most of it in there. So as you can see, this is something, you have your child, they come home every day, and what do you got for homework? When are you going to do? And you may even have that time set up, and you may even say, oh, we're going to do homework at this time, or we're going to do homework at that time, and then it gets to 5 o'clock, and all of a sudden there's an argument about the homework. So this is something that you can do, not only for daily homework, but change this and use it for your chores or the jobs that they have to do at home. So the child writes down, and this may usually starts off doing this daily. So when they get home from school, they write down what the subject is, what the task is. If they have a planner, that piece should already be done. Do they have all their materials? Do they need help? That is huge right there. Do they need help? How much support do they need? And sometimes it is just you sitting next to them. The next one is you and the child figure out how long it's going to take. When are they going to start? And then the actual stop time. So using those three together, and then you can assess how long it actually took. I would keep these for a little while because in the upcoming weeks we're going to talk a little bit about time management, and these will become important for that because we'll start to talk about time robbers a little bit. So you as a parent can help your child get off to a good start. As I said, this can be used also for chores. It can be used for your list. In the materials that you need, it may not be a yes or no. It might be just like if they have to brush their teeth, it could be materials needed, toothpaste, toothbrush, and floss. So those are easy enough to do, so that way the child has what they need before they get started. And really going through and thinking about how long it will take, because as I said, in a few weeks, these last three columns are going to be important when we talk about time management. So for you as parents, it's really important to be diligent during this time, building these new habits. It's a lot of work for you as it is for your child, because you're helping your child develop some new habits, and you're developing some new habits for yourself too. This is going to be a different way of thinking for you and your kids, but this is going to be so necessary, especially as they go into high school. You can definitely fade this cueing as time goes on. With my own son, he was really good with this, but all of a sudden now middle school, things have kind of changed, so we're trying to backtrack a little bit. And that's okay too. As your child grows and they develop, and as they have more expectations of them, you may have to go back and revisit this. It's not necessarily a one and done. Okay, the kids got the skills, we're moving on. They have the foundation of the skill, and then they build upon that. And then you eventually, you can leave it for your child and say, hey, fill out your homework planner, and then they can come and show you. Those are different steps that we can do to fade that support. So definitely use this. Hopefully this daily homework planner will be helpful to you. Your children, hopefully in the next week or so, on their Chromebooks will have a file shared with them of different templates that I've created. Those are just templates that people can use and create and make it their own around executive functioning skills to help them out. So I do hope you've enjoyed this week. Next week, I'm going to talk more about planning. So have a great week, and thank you.